Hello, it is I, Dragon Souped, also known as Saltosaur in-game. In today's video, I'll be talking about Minecraft's combat test snapshots, version 6 and version 7c, which will bring changes to Minecraft's combat system in a future version. Now, let's get right into the video. First things first, for those wondering what the combat test snapshots are, they are a series of snapshots released by the Minecraft developers to the public to test out future changes to the Minecraft combat system. These combat changes will be added into the game once they have been finalized. To recap on the previous combat snapshots, the following changes have so far been made to the game. Attack cooldowns have been reduced, allowing players to attack much more faster during a melee fight. In addition to this, players can now attack automatically by holding down the left click button, and sweeping attacks from swords now require you to fully charge your weapon twice before attacking. Most melee weapons now have reduced damage, and different melee weapons now have different attack ranges, which determine how far you can hit a target from. A new chopping enchantment has been added to axes that increases axe damage, and increases the amount of stun time axes have on shields, and you will now lose hunger much more faster during a combat scenario. Missed attacks are now easier to land, and finally, snowballs now stack up to 64. Moving on to the new changes in the combat test snapshots. Combat Test version 6 brings several changes to how missed attacks work, alongside new changes to the Sweeping Edge enchantment and bow inaccuracy. To start things off, the changes to missed attacks made in the previous combat test snapshot have now been reverted. However, to compensate for this, smaller mobs such as rabbits and bats are now easier to hit. Their hitboxes have been expanded to at least 0.9 blocks in width and height, allowing players to hit them more easily. In addition, the base attack reach for all weapons has now been increased to 3 blocks, and the delay after missed attacks has now been reduced. The new chopping enchantment has now been renamed to Cleaving, and axes can now receive Sweeping Edge. Thrown projectiles now take player momentum into consideration, and in this snapshot, attacking players while they are eating will interrupt them. To compensate for this, however, health regeneration has now been increased from foods, and natural regeneration now uses 50% less foods. Also in this snapshot, shields now only reduce 5 points of damage against melee attacks. Finally, in this snapshot, bows become more inaccurate over time if they are fully charged. Moving on to the changes in Combat Snapshot 7c, the eating interruption, bow inaccuracy, and the removal of the attack indicator have now been reverted from the previous combat test version. And holding the attack button now increases the delay from missing an attack. The base reach has now been reduced to 2.5 blocks, and shields now completely prevent explosion damage and provide 50% knockback resistance. Charged attacks now return in this snapshot, which now sport an increased reach if you are not blocking with a shield. Potions now stack up to 16. Sword enchantments are now available to axes if they are applied in an anvil. And finally, Nephirite weapons now have their stats changed to match the changes in the previous combat test versions. Well, that's all I have for this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to check out my other videos too. This is Dragon Souped, signing out.